survive the storm. Here's meteorologist Matt Jones.
It's no secret that mobile home parks like this are one of the worst places to be in a tornado. Despite that, those living here have little option when it comes to taking shelter.
If God's ready for me, here's my time. And if he's not, I'll survive. That's the way I try to look at it, because there's nothing else I can do.
Jane Johnson has lived in this mobile home park in southwest Springfield for 40 years and has no place to go if a tornado comes barreling her way. Those living here say that a lack of management and failure to maintain community storm shelters in the park has left them vulnerable.
I moved here 40 years ago. It had 2 storm shelters, and one of them is right back here behind where I live here. And the other one's down that way, but they quit taking care of them, and several years ago were told to just have to find a place to go.
Rusted over, filled with murky water, and overgrown with grass and weeds, the shelters in this park are nearly impossible to see and even use during a tornado. Unfortunately, the problem isn't just relegated to this park. Many mobile home communities in the Ozarks fail to provide adequate shelters for their residents, and by law, they don't have to. We actually found out through the story that there actually is no law requiring that, and what do you think about that?
You did find out that there's not? Well, I think that's sad.
Why is there not a law in Missouri requiring these mobile home parks to have community shelters?
I think it gets to be a very complicated issue. While certainly we would like to protect those people in the mobile home parks, there's more to it than that, Matt. One of those is, we're talking about private property rights, and anytime the state passes a law imposing requirements on private property owners, we're taking away some of their private property rights.
With little help from the state, some residents have decided to take matters into their own hands.
I'm disabled, and it's hard for me to get inside their shelters. And of course, this was closer to my home. I can get here a lot faster.
Elaine Hall and her husband decided to purchase this underground shelter several years ago after seeing firsthand the destruction a tornado can do.
I don't trust a mobile home in a large storm. Like I said, it's worth it to me to have the peace of mind that it's here.
Regardless of whether you live in a mobile home or in a sturdy home, an underground shelter is really your best bet next time we have a tornado on the way.
As you just saw, some of you actually refuse to take shelter when severe weather strikes. Why? And what will it take for you to do everything you can to survive the storm?
Before kids, I just kind of would wait out the storm. But now, since having kids, it's not just me and my wife that we're looking after.
Pillows in my bathtub. My dog and I climb in there. I also have a light and radio there.
We asked several people what they do, and everyone said they'd seek shelter as soon as the warning is issued. But we know there are people who don't. Dr. Laura Myers, a social scientist, has been interviewing tornado survivors for the past 6 years.
It tends to be elderly people, people who live alone, people who don't feel like they have options.
I think it sounds more like a pride thing with where they've lived. Like, tornadoes have come through here all the time, and they haven't knocked my house over yet.
They, use the religious aspects of it and say, if it's my time, then, God is choosing it's my time, or God's going to protect me from it.
This is not good.
But Myers says the main issue is many people just don't know there's a safe spot in their home, nearby, or even where to go during a storm.
For example, if they live in an apartment building, if they'll go to a stairwell and get underneath a stairwell. And so we'll tell them about that, and they're shocked that there could be a strong, safe place in the building that they're in.
Okay, guys, come on. It's time to go. Let's go.
The time to figure out where that safe place is right now, way before the storm hits. Don't wait until you see the tornado.
The father actually went to the front door to see if the tornadoes were coming. And that's one of the biggest issues, is people wait till they can see. They want visual confirmation.
Even if it's an active season and you've had to go to that shelter over and over again, don't take the chance.
A lot of people decided, well, this really isn't going to impact me, so I'm not going to take action because I'm tired of trying to do this.
That's why Myers meets with people, teaching them how to get alerts like our weather app, our website, on air, or our KSPR Early Warning Facebook page.
A lot of times that information can be pushed out through those social media outlets a day in advance, a couple of days in advance, and give that information about preparation and planning and sheltering.
You have to take things into your own hands and prepare yourself, because yes, it might be your time, but no need to rush it.
Without many tornadoes over the past couple of years, many of you have let your guard down. Think about it right now. What is your tornado safety plan? Where would you and your family go? Have it ready now. Practice it so you can survive the storm.
The typical warning time before a tornado is about 15 to 20 minutes. It's not a lot of time, especially if you have to leave your home to take shelter, say in maybe one of these FEMA-designated safe rooms that are actually all around the Ozarks. But many people don't even realize that these shelters exist. Stephanie Garland reports.
Even on a peaceful day like this father and daughter know all too well, no matter what they're doing, tornadoes could hit.
You never know when severe weather can strike, especially here in the Ozarks.
But if severe weather hit right now, the Blairs don't know where to go.
I do not know where the nearest FEMA shelter is.
Where is it? Here at Fellows Lake? I don't think I know.
Ozarks FEMA shelter owners do let people know where to go. In Clever, it's just the people who live within a half-mile radius of the shelter.
We send out letters, but we also do electronic communication.
For Nixa, we send out a notification once a year, either in a postcard or in our magazine that goes out to every household in Nixa, because we have a lot of people that move in.
Others admit it's something that needs improvement.
Something we probably need to think about. Again, it's available on our website. You've given me some thoughts of something that we probably need to think about, as we have new people roll in and move to this area, to at least let them know that it's here.
But emergency managers say if there's a tornado warning, you might want to get in a safe place where you are.
There's a FEMA-rated shelter within a mile of your location, or roughly within a 5-minute, drive distance. It is permissible to do that, but we more highly recommend that folks stay, where they're at.
If you want to go to a shelter, beware. The rules are different for every location.
Clever and Fairgrove schools are open during warnings. Nixa schools and OTC in Nixa are open during a watch. Sounds confusing? That's because it's up to every individual FEMA-funded storm shelter when to open. So what happens if you get to a FEMA shelter before the person arrives to open it up? Well, here at Ozark Technical College at the Ridgewood Valley campus in Nixa, you can press this button. It'll automatically connect to 911 call dispatch to let them know that you're here.
We get so focused on us and the students and faculty, and some, I think, lose sight of the fact that it is really for the community. So we need to make sure that they're aware.
Which would help the Blairs and others.
I would appreciate newscasts about it, maybe flyers, somehow making it public knowledge where these locations would be.
Now remember, your pets, they're not allowed in these shelters, so make sure you've got somewhere for them to go if you need to leave. Now, we spent dozens of hours putting together a complete list of all of the FEMA safe rooms across the state. There's nearly 200 of them. Check it out on the news app under our Survive the Storm section.
Coming up on Survive the Storm, lightning on area golf courses. What are managers doing to help alert golfers of the dangers of lightning? Also, the last few years have been quiet when it comes to tornadoes, but that may change this year. We explain. And a look at new data showing how the Ozarks is unique when it comes to flash flooding. But first, here's Chief Meteorologist Kevin Lighty.
KSPR introduces you to Skywatch 33. It's the Ozarks' first officially licensed drone for covering the news. From fires to accidents, police activity, and of course the weather, we will be giving you a unique perspective like you've never seen before. Skywatch 33 exclusively on KSPR. Survive the Storm returns after this.